Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Innervated podcast. It's episode 49, and we are back from a 2-week absence from the denizens of Twitch. And it's good to be back. It's good to be back because there's a lot to cover. I actually had some small health issues myself. More known to my co-host as STD on my scalp. I'm not going to go into details, but if you ask my mother, I'm probably HIV positive at this point because I got a little thing on my head. It's just like how mothers operate. But we're not going to... What?
Nothing.
No, it's... I'm not going to go by herpy head for the rest of my life.
Head.
I'm not going to go by herpy head. But again, this is a Hearthstone show, so sometimes we actually talk about Hearthstone. We're not going to continue with the STD. That's not an STD topic. We're going to talk
come on, that was great. What are you talking about? That was hours better. I
really enjoyed having a big blood cloth on my scalp that was like, whenever I went out, like everybody looked at me weirdly. Like, you should really go to the doctor, and I did. I did it. I have now 10 days to live, so this is the last episode of the Innervated. Thank you.
You would have time enough for another week.
Oh right,
yeah,
right.
We got at least push it to 50, so you'll die 3 days later.
Oh, this is so convenient. I'm going to die at the 50th episode. So yeah, yep. Tune what's like next Tuesday to see me die on stream, giving you the last dose of cynicism and sarcasm for the Innervated. Anyways, let's get on with the show because nobody wants to hear about a journalist dying. Or that's actually the truth. Like everybody wants a journalist today. Anyways, guys,
it all depends on which one it is.
Yeah, if it's me, go for it. It's the three of us, the core Innervated trio once again. I'm Gigi Nydra, of course. Joining me are Sumadin and the Chiv. How are you tonight, guys?
Been trying to actually get legend, which is a huge mistake.
Whatever deck you're using, just make sure it has Yogg-Saron. You'll be fine.
Did you at least get the rank 5 chest? Because you need the rank 5 chest.
I got, I have the rank 1 chest.
Oh,
it's that rank 1 boss. Oh god,
serious grinder, man. Okay, Chiv.
Pretty good. Been bouncing around, been falling in love with Yogg-Saron every single time I play him, realizing he is the most powerful card in the damn game. And I got a new Vaporizer. So, other than that...
Speaking of Yogg-Saron, man, I know One Subtle is not a fan of Yogg-Saron. He actually wrote a pretty decent article on Complexity Gaming.
A lot of the casters are not happy about Yogg-Saron. They don't think it's what a competitive scene needs. However, they're failing to understand that you need something like this in order to keep the viewers somewhat entertained, because truth be told, watching Hearthstone is one of the most boring experiences you can ever have. Alright, but you add a little bit more excitement to it, like Yogg-Saron, and all hell breaks loose and it becomes something worthwhile watching.
Well, the problem with the card, I think that everybody has, is that it's a comeback mechanic. Like everybody plays him for the comeback mechanic, right? Like if you're behind on the board, and there's no way to get back, you just play Yogg-Saron, cross your fingers, and see what happens. And his effect is
pray you don't mill yourself to death.
I mean, even if you do, you were going to die anyway, right? So it's not like you don't play Yogg-Saron when you're equal on board or where you're ahead on board, right? You play Yogg-Saron when you're behind. He's a comeback mechanic. So the best thing he can do is win you a game that was lost.
I think one of the big things that people really don't like about Yogg-Saron is one of the only real counters to Yogg-Saron is basically Sylvanas. So a lot of the N'Zoth decks can't play down Sylvanas as they normally would to their game plan because they're using it as a counter to Yogg-Saron. When they think Yogg-Saron's about to come out, then they drop it down and hope that they're going to play Yogg-Saron right into it. That way they could possibly take Yogg-Saron and then they get the benefit of the spells, which... if you've ever played Yogg-Saron, you'd know that's not that great of a benefit, first of all. But yes, many a times it does clear shit, but it also does Pyroblast your face and do a whole bunch of other horrible things and just make you cry.
This is a card that you cannot really play against both as the guy who plays it and is the guy who plays against it, right? Which is a big part of why people hate it. Because, you know, in competitive environment, it's absolutely ridiculous, right? It's for every for every competitor, every professional Hearthstone player wants to have things in his control. Like even things with seemingly minor RNG effects like Juggler, like Flame Juggler or Knife Juggler, whatever you want it. Even these minor effects are not really liked by pro players because, you know, a bad Juggler...
You cannot... I don't think you can compare Knife Juggler or Yogg-Saron because they are basically in completely different end of the mana cost. Like, a 10 mana card can be allowed to do crazy shit. Like, if a 10 mana card wins you the game, it's
a
kind of acceptable. Right? You know,
well, I mean, but before we had the old gods, what were the only 10 mana cards we had? We had Varian, who did some pretty amazing things, and before him, we had, well, that wasn't always 10. Yeah, I'm not even going to classify that.
But
either way,
Deathwing.
All right, so like just on minion wise, you look at what Deathwing did. Boom! I fucked the board. I'm a 12/12. By the way, you no longer have a hand. And, you know, that was a pretty powerful effect, but, I mean, it had a huge downside here. Then you look at Yogg-Saron. He doesn't just have upsides and downsides. I mean, he comes in 3 different states. He's either going to be overly effective to help you win, or basically buy you the time you need to win, does absolutely nothing to advance or destroy you, or he completely bends you over and fucks you in the ass. Yeah. This is something, obviously, you know a lot about, Nydra.
Professionally.
But, so, I mean, he only has 1 of 3 states, so when you start looking at, like, everything that, in terms of Hearthstone, yeah, he's probably the most powerful card in the game, but at the same time, he falls right in lines with a lot of the mathematical statistic variances of a lot of cards. They normally operate within 1 of 3 realms, and so does he.
Alright. Well, that's about Yogg-Saron, I guess. He wasn't really supposed to be on the show, but since he's everywhere now, and
he
really is. Like, Rdu won DreamHack. And speaking of Rdu, he won DreamHack Summer. This is something we should have covered in the previous episode after DreamHack, the one which we didn't have. So this is why we're mentioning here. So Rdu, guys, he's back on winning shit. Like.
Yeah,
this is the second. He's the first guy to win 2 DreamHacks.
Yeah, and nobody said hi, Mom.
Nobody said hi, Mom.
Well, I'm sure Twitch chat did, but
Twitch chat did.
Oh God, yeah, they did.
But he's so the first 2 times DreamHack champion, and the latest player to break 100K in winnings. As Stefan brought in his report. So it was a fantastic event, by the way. It was a fantastic hashtag storyline. You know, I'm really happy for Rdu because I've known him ever since he broke out. I've met him multiple times. He's one of the most hardworking, dedicated to Hearthstone guys. These are all the G2 guys, by the way. So I'm really happy he got so far, and I'm even more happy that he played Frozen in the finals. And Frozen is one guy that I know, Chiv, you're a big fan of because he's one of the best up and coming North American guys. He made top 60 in the previous DreamHack in Austin, and now we had him here playing in the finals at DreamHack Summer. Fantastic display by Frozen, absolutely amazing games by both him and Rdu, by the way.
Yeah, though, wasn't he like talking to himself like most of the matches though?
Yeah.
It was so weird because even Sada was commenting about it. It's like he is just talking to no one every match. Either he's playing some really good mind games or he's batshit crazy. Either way, I like it.
I mean, this is what Strefko does, by the way.
But not nearly as pronounced.
But yeah, so yeah, I mean, good for Rdu. I think he climbed our rankings quite high, and this is good because he was really in a not in his best shape, like not in his 2014 shape, where like between DreamHack Summer and what was it like when he failed to qualify for the European Championship, like actually between this period he was actually winning everything. Like he would show up in an invitational, win it. That didn't even matter like if it was like middle of the night for him. I think he played like one of the Tavern takeovers or something like this. like up till 4 a.m. in the morning, then just went straight to school and he won it.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that he's back winning shit. Again, you know, congratulations to the DreamHack crew for putting up a good event. Although it really didn't go without drama, and I want to touch really quickly on this. And by touch I mean shut it down completely. So the story is, Frozen submitted initially a wrong rogue deck that had two Van Cleef. No, two Leroys and no Van Cleef. And if you ask how is that possible, well, everybody was asked to send their decks in text form.
Bad
decision, but it's not the first time DreamHack has done it. But these
I understand why they do it that way because of Reno and those type of decks that basically you can't get a good screenshot of. But I mean, there are other ways of doing this that would not have led to this. But again,
sure, like it's so. And then what happened is that Frozen played Edwin in his match against Maverick, which was in Game 3 already in the series. Frozen was up 2-0, and Maverick called an admin, right? Because he could. Everybody knew the deck list in the top 16. So Maverick checked the list, didn't see Edwin, and when he saw Edwin in play, he thought, well, yeah, something fishy is going on. Obviously, this went on Reddit. Our co-host, Toast the Badger, made some comments. A lot of people jumped on her. I told her that I don't really disagree with her position, but you know, she's in her right to express it. She basically wrote that she lost all respect for Maverick for pulling out the shit. Now, I don't know what your guys' position towards this is, but I don't think anybody did it on purpose maliciously, right? I've met Maverick. I don't think he's an asshole that he would just, you know, like, I don't think he saw the double Leroy in the lists, and then he just waited for a cool opportunity to bring it up if Frozen plays him in the next round, in round 2 of the playoffs, right? Because
I don't think it was a coordinated effort. No, I don't think so.
No, because I was adding the deck list all morning after DreamHack sent me, and they sent me in the text form as they submitted. Like, I made about 15 mistakes adding those deck lists. Like when I submitted it, and then, you know, on Reddit people were saying, well, this deck has only 29 cards. Like, it's not correct. I had Rdu's deck list with double Kabbalist Tome instead of double Water Element. Like, I've made so many mistakes in adding these deck lists, and I can tell that it's confusing. You know, looking at a deck list in text form. Like, there was a guy, Mangolicious, a German guy, who actually had the entire list jumbled up. Like, it was not ordered in order of mana cost. It was like, you know, his zoo list would be like, oh, Flame Imp, and then Dark Iron Dwarf, and then Councilman, and then Voidwalker. Like, what the fuck? Like, I actually argued on Twitter if he actually did it on purpose to hide text in text form. It's fucking brilliant, right?
Oh yeah, it is brilliant, but
it wasn't intentional. I was so disappointed when I learned this wasn't intentional, because it was it was going to be brilliant. But yeah, so it's scouting decks in text form, guys. It's difficult. You miss shit, especially when you write Leroy cross 1. Like, yeah, she gets missed. So yeah, it's don't look for drama where there isn't. Basically,
I wonder if you can get away with just writing Raid Wipe in lieu of Leroy.
Raid Wipe?
Yes.
I don't know. Stefan, what do you think about DreamHack and the whole incident?
It's like, it seems like the thing that always going to happen when you don't use any sort of electronic deck list. Like, any sort of if they had any sort of electronic deck list like input, then that. Yeah, or
like Hearthstone or Hearthhead.
Even our Gosu, you know, deck tool would just give a big punch in your face whenever you try to say double Leroy, and you'll probably see that yourself when you try it. So, it just seems like a vulnerability in this design. Really, like, it seems like something that should be caught. with a current tool.
They were trying to adapt to a situation. They made a choice. That choice backfired in their face. They'll probably realize this and go forward with a different plan. You know, it's not overly that hard. I guarantee you the next DreamHack, somebody's going to be checking every single list, and if there's something that doesn't add up correctly, they'll be like, yo, whoa, hold up.
I mean, to DreamHack's credit, they did catch Frozen's mistake, and this wasn't a mistake that was done on purpose, because I know people thought like, oh, Frozen is trying to cheat. No, you're not, because you're never going to play double fucking Leroy, because it's not possible to put 2 Leroys in a deck, right? Exactly. It's obviously a mistake, like a non-malicious, honest mistake that happens when you just type deck list down. You're never going to play double Leroy in a tournament. So Frozen was caught, he was warned for his mistake, as DreamHack admin should have done, and then he corrected the list and sent it. What happened is actually the DreamHack admin sent the wrong list to the players, and I can tell you that it's very possible that nobody really, checked for the double Leroy. Because, the way I was setting deck lists, because when you have to scout so many deck lists, you just, like, scout for tags, for specific tags. Deck lists like, oh, no, Edwin, that's interesting, okay. Oh, he plays a Leroy, okay, that's cool, but you don't really read Leroy Jenkins by 2, right? It's not something. You just skim, because you have like 16 players, each brings 4 decks. That's 64 decks. Like, you cannot really read every single letter in them. You just scout. Like the way I scouted, Temple Wars. Like, oh, how many acolytes? Well, 1 acolyte. Is there a variant? Yep, no variant. That's cool, right? This is the most efficient way to scout deck lists, especially when you're on such a short time constraint. So yeah, there's no drama there, and I think like the decision that DreamHack crew took, they like do not take away Frozen's already won victories, and just continue from 2-0, and sure, Maverick is kind of fucked, but he should have caught the mistake earlier when he was when the deck list was sent. It's not an ideal situation, but I don't think disqualifying Frozen or taking away his victories was the right way to go. Basically, what the decision DreamHack 2 was 100% correct in my opinion.
No, that they did the correct decision here.
Yeah.
Because they admitted that it was a error on their part.
Yeah.
Not so much on his part. Frozen wasn't trying to get one over. Now, I've run tournaments where people tried to pull some shenanigans like that shit before, all right? And I've caught people doing it, and I've banned them instantly for it. This was back before we had, HCT points and all this other fun stuff, and people got downright pissed about it, all right? People will try to gain any advantage they can, and this is quite common. We've seen that happen in Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, things of that nature. I mean, some of the popular streamers that we have now got in trouble for similar activities in the physical card games. Not saying anybody's name, specifically Reynad. But people are going to try to get an advantage, and it's created this air of paranoia amongst a lot of the players as like, oh, okay, now I got to be worried somebody might be trying to get one over on me. And you know what? I'll tell you right now, in Maverick's shoes, I would have tried all heart and soul I could to get that win off of a mistake like that, because that's another thing. You're fighting for every single win against some top competitors. So if you can get an easy one by a simple error, then go for it. All right? I don't fault him for doing it, because that's what you're supposed to do. I do fault him for the fever at which he pursued this, but still, I don't fault him for the actual action itself.
Well, speaking of DreamHack, Valencia is the next stop on the radar.
Where?
What? Valencia. Who? Valencia. No, that would have been a valid question last year when Valencia was fucking up all their tournaments, but this time it's under the DreamHack hat, like the actual guys that run the main circuit. It's part of the... It's a real esport. It's a real DreamHack event, not run by the local Valencia.
So there'll be an English cast.
I'm hoping, yeah. And they actually expanded the slots to 280 up from 200. So it's, yeah, more people for the Swiss. And that's good. That's good. More players. More chance for hashtag storylines to develop. moving on to the next major that happened just this week, it was the HCT Americas Championship, where Cydonia won over Rusty for 4-3 in the finals. Quite a lot of close games actually in the bracket. But yeah, you know, Cydonia from Canada denying United States' second representative at BlizzCon. Cydonia will be joining Amnesiac from the Americas region over in this year's World Finals. But yeah.
Well, Canada's kind of like, you know, the U.S. light.
Yeah, no, though. It's.
Oh wait, Toast. What do you think? Oh, she's not here, so she can't argue this. So yeah, I'm correct. Then.
Actually, Todd is not in the best health, so we wish her a speedy recovery. Get better, love, and because we need you on the podcast, because nobody's watching this. We need a grill on the show, like, or Raven, like one of those guys.
like you said, a grill. Yeah, one or the other. Both are grills.
Like a pretty face. Like here is the smart core of the podcast, but we need a pretty face, right? It's just how the show works. But how much did you guys see from the HCT Americas Championship? Because I can say for myself, I didn't really, and I don't want to say didn't really enjoy, but I didn't really pay attention to it because I couldn't care less about any of the players there.
Well, unfortunately, I had a very similar feeling about it because I didn't know half the people there. The ones that I did know didn't really get very far. I watched most of it on rebroadcast. It was relatively good. I saw a lot of misplays, to be perfectly honest with you. And then I saw some crazy-ass shit in Warlock that I'm still what the fuck about.
What was the craziest shit in Warlock? I mean, I only saw
the double power overwhelming on Young Dragonhawk. That was insane. That should never have been allowed to happen, but it did. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, but that's just Dark Peddler things, right?
It's Dark Peddler meets get fucked with power overwhelming. I mean, Jesus Christ. You know, Hunters were all kinds of upset after they nerfed the shit out of the original Unleash the Hounds, but now they see this and goes, oh, fuck you. We wanted that.
Let's go. Stefan?
It's still not as fun as taking Shift of Sheriffs and seeing some of the crazy stuff that happens there, but that'll still be the best pick always for Dark Peddler.
The Zeros, man. This card is the best Peddler card. Yeah, and no doubt. I was actually talking to one of my colleagues who was Tom. He has been on the show a couple of times. He was covering the HCT Americas for me. He said that he felt the games were too rushed. Like every series, no breathing room. One series after another, no time to develop. The eponymous hashtag storylines. Chiv, what do you think about this? Like, because I think you saw more than Stefan did about it, but from the tournament. Because what I saw, I think that's definitely the case, right? Because there wasn't really even a 5-minute break between series.
No, there wasn't. It was like, all right. Congratulations. Yeah, here's your little interview. Okay, cool. We'll see you in a minute. All right, next up. I mean, they were herding them through like cattle at a slaughterhouse, man. It wasn't even funny. It was definitely a lot of rush there. I think they were doing that to keep interest, considering, you know, let's be perfectly honest, most of the viewing market for Hearthstone resides in Europe and abroad, and the general opinion is that NA generally does not have a strong region, so keeping that everyone's attention, they wanted to bang out these matches as quick as possible. That's my theory on this. And I'm sticking with it. Mostly because it wasn't a very strong lineup either. You know, it did not have the big names in there to really hold it together. It's like there was no Chackies, there was no Firebats for a reason, Bad James, things of that nature. So I mean, you had to at least keep the action flowing in order to keep the attention.
Yeah.
That's my logical standpoint.
You know, I was talking with Tom, like, I didn't have enough time to get invested in the deck list. Like, what are some of the interesting tech choices that people are bringing? We did a cool little article before HCT Europe, and it was, you know, very well accepted. And you know, it gets you talking about, you know, Crane is bringing Patron. You know, who was George C is bringing
didn't even get
Thinkmaster.
Didn't even get it.
It was like, I mean, in all fairness, the HCT Americas meta was kind of lame and very, how should I put it?
Lackluster.
Like, it was way less diverse than the European meta, and this is not like me showing favoritism towards Europe. It's fine. Like
we're starting to get to the stabilization point within the new meta now. So I mean that's not really on NA's fault and all that. Let's be honest. Europe develops a lot of the meta. Okay, so Europe develops it. Asia kind of perfects it a little bit, like whether it be China or APAC, and then Americas basically follow up, catch up, and then try to what's the words I'm looking for here?
Yeah,
navigate it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
that's just the way it's been.
The America Championship was two weeks later than the European, right? So they have these 2 weeks to settle on which are the best decks, right? Because if you look at it, there was no mid-range shaman. Like all shamans were aggro. So finally, in the end, ultimately the region said, okay, aggro is the better version. At least for tournament
NA.
play.
Aggro is always the better version.
And it's NA, right? They will always be more aggro oriented. But it was weird to see just like no mid range at all. Everybody was like, "Yep, we're playing aggro shaman." In this tournament, there was no paladin, no priest. There was slight.
Shit, there was no priest in Europe. What are you talking about?
There was no priest in Europe. Like not even a single paladin. There was quite a bit more druids. I think like 4 out of 8 people brought druid. 3 of them, of course, Cthulhu Druid, and 1 was like token, something like this. But it was overall, it was still the warlock, warrior, and shaman meta, which warlock was almost completely zoo.
Yep.
Shaman was fully aggro, as we mentioned, and warrior was temple, whether traditional temple or dragon warrior temple, of which there were 2.
Which is a very aggressive deck which fits with the NA mindset of face.
Yep. So yeah, I guess that there's not really much more to say about the HCT Americas Championship. I mean, not many people even watched it. I think it was about an average of 30K, which shouldn't be the case for Play Hearthstone's official channel, which has 300K followers.
Yeah.
I don't go into this argument like, oh, the scene is dying, but this is kind of showing that, well, when you don't have any known players, like even a Hearthstone channel cannot save you, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no more ACT championships in the near future. We're just now starting the summer season, which is supposed to end. Well, not just now. I mean, we are well into the summer season, but the summer season cutoff will be at the end of July. So we have, well, about a month now of open cups and qualifiers and whatnot. And late August we should have the preliminaries, and in September we should have the championships, if I remember the schedule correctly. So yeah, no more ACT tournaments for a while, but this doesn't mean we don't have any more Hearthstone content. Actually, right as we speak, we have the qualifiers for the Truesilver Championship 3 happening, which are 20-man invitational qualifiers that will determine 7 players that will go and join NES in the Truesilver Championship playoffs. Now, again, they're changing the format a bit. It's not fully open as DreamHack Summer or like any of the DreamHacks. They will have 8 players directly seeded into the playoffs. And then the other 8 will come from the Swiss round. So again, it will have open signups. It will not be a full invitational. It will be partial invitational, which is something we have been talking about more and more in recent
This is what's known as a pro-am in fucking Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, yes, kind of. So I want to...
It's the closest analogy I can give you.
The guys think this is a good approach for Insomnia, because it obviously will not give away HCT points. And they have
I think is a mistake. Which I think is a huge mistake.
Yeah, but we've discussed like should these events give away HCT points like they did last year. But overall, what do you think about this year's Truesilver Championship format and qualification process, whatnot, compared to the previous edition, which was in March?
I think that this is a much healthier, just from a viewer standpoint, as well as making your sponsors happy. I think this is a much healthier standpoint.
This
that
is basically
I really wish
for profits.
Yeah, this is a format for profit, but it also is going to benefit the viewership, and it's going to benefit the players as well. All right, so when you get this 50-50 mix and you get that, rogue from out of nowhere just comes up and makes a name for himself right there, that's a story. All right. Now, when you have a completely open system and you get what we had in the NA, where it was basically 6 guys that nobody had ever heard of and 2 people we've kind of heard of. All right. Nobody gave a shit. Look at the view numbers on that. Nobody gave a fuck. All right.
Yep.
So I like this system better because it is at least engaging most of the time for the viewer base. And if your viewer base is not engaged, is not being able to cheer on their favorite player, then why are they watching? In television land, if a person's not entertained, boom, they're going to another channel to find something else. Well, unfortunately, Twitch is video media, very similar to television, so the same rules are inevitably going to apply to it. So, seriously, Blizzard, pay attention.
Yeah, it's good. I've said this before, and I will continue saying it, is that your storyline only matters if you beat someone significant. Like, no disrespect to Cydonia, but beating 3 no-names will not help will not help your career, right?
No.
It's only when you go to BlizzCon and beat these big names that have been winning tournaments, all their careers, only then are you worthy of respect. Again, beating 3 no-names, yeah, it's a good start, but it's not breaking out. Like, Cydonia has not broken out despite being Americas Championship, which is fucking ridiculous. Like the logic dictates that it should be the opposite, like the absolute opposite. He is the Americas champion for this season. He should count towards breakout player, but he isn't because he hasn't beaten anyone significant, right? So yeah, I really enjoy the way the Truesilver Championship is going. I wish them all the best. I've actually said it. I cannot watch the qualifiers because they're fucking stacked. Oh my fucking god! It's just go and watch it. It's on Twitch, multiplay_HS. Just go watch the qualifiers because they're like some of the best players in Europe and NA are there.
Yeah, who are you rooting for?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm rooting for my boy Thijs, man, like as usual. And
Damn
AK, it's go these guys. But then again, we have players like Garo who haven't been invited to stuff for a long time, so I'm curious how he'll do. We have Tides of Time, who's like, didn't he quit like 17 times already?
I know, right?
He's back. he's back playing Hearthstone, man. So, and he will remain like even if he never, gets he's not able to get good results anymore. He's still one of the most innovative and crazy deck builders in Hearthstone. So that whenever he shows up at a tournament, he will be a treat to watch. So yeah, out of those 20, 7 will remain by tomorrow. They will punch their tickets through for the Truesilver Championship 3, which will be in August. I'm not sure what the dates are, but we'll get to that. But anyways, do we have any other events that we need to cover, guys? Basically not, right?
Well, let's see. There's no ATLC too.
There's no ATLC. Yeah, there will be a Star Ladder in the first week of July, but I think we'll have an episode before that. So we're going to cover this. But
Challenge Stone hasn't come around in a while.
But yeah, it's you're pushing me to the main topic, right?
Goddamn right I am. You didn't give me notes, so I'm doing it my own way.
Yeah, we're completely winging this episode. I'm hoping that this doesn't really show, but. This is what happens when Nydra meets social life. He just doesn't stay at home writing notes for the show. But the main
basically the herpes went away and he went out to play.
Woo-woo! Sadly no, though. So the main topic for tonight is what is the scene lacking, and I've been trying to find a good main topic for the show for a long while because we haven't really had an active scene. And this kind of brought me to this topic, like, why are we not having an active scene? Why are we not getting, a lot of diversity in terms of content, in terms of tournaments? Why is this the same thing over and over again? And I don't want to sound like a naysayer or bad prophet. I know that I often do, but, I seriously started thinking, like, okay, why is there no, like overwhelming content from Hearthstone, right? Because I go back to the 2014 years, we actually had an episode where we were discussing, like, is this too much, guys? Like, are we at the point of oversaturation of events, and in one point we actually were like very dangerously to it.
That was basically why Blizzard stepped in, like they tend to do for stabilizing.
Yeah, their version of stabilizing is basically guiding the ship towards the iceberg.
I wouldn't say so because we need it.
Well, it's the alternative to the waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least the waterfall's a fun ride.
But
the iceberg leads to a really crappy movie, though. Oh, whoops.
Whoops. So
that was a double fun there.
I mean, I started looking back at the well, not really a long history of Hearthstone, but we've had a lot of shit happen in those 2 years, and a lot of the stuff we've seen in the past and we enjoyed in the past are not really happening in 2016. I actually feel that 2016 is one of the weakest years for Hearthstone tournament content-wise, right?
It's supposed to be Year of the Kraken. It's Year of the Resident Sleeper is what it fucking is. It's the most boring fucking thing I've seen today. I can't even watch half this shit without damn near falling asleep.
I mean, I will concede the fact that a lot of the production improved. Like guys like PGL and Starler or ESL are putting amazing production. Truesilver, actually, we were talking about them. Like they did amazing production for Truesilver #2. So there has been a lot of improvement there. The casters have improved a shit ton. The HCT system is like, as much as we like hating on it every once in a while, it's actually a big improvement towards what we had in the dark days. Right, so a lot of good things are happening. Don't get me wrong. I don't think 2016 is the death of hashtag storylines. I don't think casters are failing their job. We've made fun of Shevik before, but I feel like, I remember 2015 very clearly because it was just last year. A lot of cool things happened that we don't have them anymore, and I just want to talk about like what do we miss the most? Like what should we get back on it? Like. Let's make it happen, like make Hearthstone great again, Let's stop building big walls around content. Let's just crash down the walls. Let all the content come back to the scene, because there's a lot of shit I deeply miss. And we're going to start with tournaments, because that's closest to us, because we are all esports guys. And
that's the big selling point. That's the big viewer market. So yeah,
I mean this is how you draw people. Parallel into the game, right? It's not just coming from people playing Hearthstone on their phones in the subway, but it's actually watching tournaments and getting interested in Hearthstone. And 2015 had amazing initiatives. In 2014 as well, by the way, we had Vigame with its unique format. We had Challenge Stone. We had ATLC. We had KPL and Nvidia and all these running leagues. And I'm not saying anybody is missing Nvidia, but I'm talking about the concept of long running leagues. We had
Wait a minute, where's my coin to flip?
I have a deal stick. Anyways, so I'm going to start there. Like, what do you guys miss that, like, if you're given now the choice, bring back let's say two tournament ideas that we had in the past that no longer exist, to bring back to 2016 and revitalize the scene, what would you choose? Stefan, go.
Easy. ATLC. Like, there is no tournament. Like, it's the epitome of star power. Like, it's the one good thing Archon has ever done.
It's an all-star game.
Yeah, and it's exactly what viewers want. Like,
yes.
There is nothing. It's everything the viewers want. Like, viewers don't care about no names. We're sorry, but we don't. We just.
Yeah, I mean, come on, think about this. How many people tune in to watch a CS:GO fucking major? All right,
millions.
A CS:GO major. Yeah. Okay. Why do they tune in? Because they get to see all their favorite teams, all those star players. There's no just qualified to be in this that shows up on those. Never. Yeah. All right. These are established, reputable people, players, teams, okay? They have a fan base. They have backing. They've built their storylines, but in Hearthstone, you don't get that. So ATLC gave us exactly that. It brought that legitimacy to Hearthstone. And, well, fuck, Amaz decided fuck competitive Hearthstone, and now it's just doing stream bait, so fuck it.
Well, didn't really give any money from what we've heard, so...
Oh, I didn't make as much as I thought I would. Fuck off. Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's disappointing that other people haven't picked up on the Team League.
People have suggested. I mean, there's been a couple ideas doing it based on nationality. That way, it'd be like kind of like FIFA of fucking Hearthstone, but that never got anywhere because nobody wanted to financially back it. And that therein lies the big problem: backing and sponsors.
Just so much. And again, like, how do you balance such a thing? Like, is United States just gonna be one nation?
Yeah.
Well, depends if Texas leaves or not. You know.
Make America great again. Yeah, ATLC, man, I completely agree with you. And actually, me and Chiv recorded, a video a couple of weeks back that we're yet to publish. I am yet to publish. Actually, it's entirely on me. We were talking exactly about the need of team leagues that ATLC showed us, that there is a hunger for team league competition. There's a hunger for people to care not just for a player, but for his teammates, his or her teammates, for a brand, team brand, just like a group of people. It just adds more layers to #storylines. You know it. It just makes you care for a lot more things at once. And ATLC was the perfect example, because people form teams from nothing. Trump's team, or who was like Kibler's team, or were they on the same team? I can't even remember.
Yeah, they were.
We can go further back than that. Go back to Fight Night and look at some of those teams that were formed. Fucking Doggy House, right? And not many people knew, like, at least one of the players in Doggy House. Everybody knew the rest of them. Nobody knew really Clarion Gaming overly much outside of or Clarity. My bad. I always do that.
Chucky,
Chucky and a little bit with Admirable. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew anybody from fucking Mana Grind until they kicked ass.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they started caring after that. But people enjoyed that team format. They like watching, teams go up against it, because it's easier to talk about the team than knowing about all these individual players. And we got thousands of great players in Hearthstone, and hundreds of them have been on a Twitch stream during a competition. So expecting people to remember all these guys, oh yeah, he was at that one tournament, blah blah. That's no. All right. The best way of doing that is associating the team. Unfortunately, we have nothing that actually benefits the need for a team ever outside of travel support. And I'm a manager for a team, and I'll be the first one to tell you this. All we are is fucking goddamn Travelocity or orbits. Yeah, that's all we are. We're fucking orbits for fucking players, all right? What a team actually gets off a Hearthstone player is insignificant as altogether, because sponsors don't give a shit about it, because there's no need for a team in Hearthstone outside of travel support.
Yeah.
It's God's honest truth.
So that's bring team league so we can fix a lot of shit with it, right? And
again, you'd help out the organizations, you would make the fans happy, and everything would go a lot smoother, and you will promote the longevity and growth of your fucking product.
I don't want to repeat the same things we said in our own video, Chiv, because we were going to publish it, very, very soon, I promise. But yeah,
I had a discussion with a Blizzard. I'm not going to say what the position is, but had a discussion with them, and they disagreed on this. I was like, "You are fucking retarded."
Wow.
Yeah,
that was my response.
I told you, Blizzard are still trying to fix and put their HCT circuit in order, right? So they only care about individual storylines, and this is in their right. Because you cannot truly fix the entire scene, and it's not you who is supposed to fix the entire scene, right? Other people should, undertake, on this endeavor, right? There are investors who need to see the benefit of a team league, the financial benefit of a team league, because there will be one. Because fucking House of Mass, ATLC broke 100k in the finals. Which tournament nowadays is breaking 100k? Nothing. None.
BlizzCon, maybe.
BlizzCon, yeah, but it's BlizzCon,
and half of that is because of the Hearthstone content released, not because of the tournament.
Exactly, because the 2 weeks beforehand, they always nerf something, and people want to find out what that next big thing is.
Yeah.
Also that.
Exactly, and the Hearthstone channel has 300k followers, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so Team Leagues. Stefan, your next pick then?
I can't really say anything I missed, but there's something I'm disappointed we don't have yet, and that's wild format tournaments. Like, what the heck are they? Like, okay, you have a different format that is completely unique to anything. Like, you're obviously not going to get HCC points for this, so you might as well use that as an excuse to do a ton of invitationals.
Yep.
And you have something completely unique to show that Blizzard is not going to nag you in the back for using. You know, it's not like you say you run a tournament where you ban Leroy and Blizzard gets all angry. No. This is fully authorized, even if they're not going to reward you for anything for it. Like, I don't understand why they are. Like, it's been 2 months since the release of Whispers of the Old Guard, and quite frankly, I am not particularly impressed. Not that I was ever going to be that, but
yeah.
So
I agree with you. Every single day, I wake up going, "Bring back the Boom." I never thought I would say I really miss Dr. Boom, but I really do miss Dr. Boom.
I don't, but can I anti-heal? But
it's
like,
good. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, something like that. You know, like. Let us, have a tournament where people can see just how absurd the Shredders are, but then soft, Like, you'll get to see that. You'll get to see just how much healing Paladin has when they
have forbidden healing on top of it.
Forbidden healing, like, you can be the most aggressive thing in the world and you will never kill them because they are immortal.
I mean, the most ridiculous thing is I'm on Twitter almost all the time, and people are getting Golden Priest in Wild because like this shit's broken now. It's like, wait, really? When has Priest ever been broken in his entire existence? Like, yep, Wild. When you add the new cards, like Nazod and Shed and stuff like this, like basically build a Nazod Priest with light bombs and stuff like this. It's actually ridiculous because then you have like Dark Cultist. It's a natural minion. It's pretty good. So,
it's amazing.
It's
like
amazing.
It's the longest street of that's ever printed.
It's like so actually because I remember the first episode we had after Whispers launched, and I know Chiv, you played like a couple of WoW games. Like, oh, this shit's too much cancer, but of course it's going to be too much cancer because it's the first week. Everybody's sticking to Freeze Mage and Secret Paladin because these were the ugly decks of the previous meta. But now the meta has evolved a bit. People see which are the good cards in Whispers, and they're bringing it to the WoW decks. And stuff is actually happening because I don't know if it's going to be if it's a good meta because I don't think I'll play Wild.
But where are the tournament organizers that want to export off this? It's an untapped market. Like, what?
Because Blizzard says that everything is going to be based around the standard regular format, and that's where all the support's going to be going towards. They give no support whatsoever to Wild.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be a supported format, right? Because they said, oh, we're not just going to abandon Wild to be just,
they put it out there, and then instantly, it's like, oh, we're not going to abandon it. Oh, hey, look, there's a puppy over there. Go get it. And then they drove away.
Yeah. So, again, like, I don't know if it's a good format. Maybe Wild tournaments are completely shit, but we wouldn't know until we actually had them. So Stephen is absolutely correct. Where are they? I mean, people tune in to watch the reverse standard tournament at Amaspot, right?
And we knew that was going to be a pile of shit.
Yeah, and we still watch it because we were interested, like, oh, what's going to happen, right? It's this curiosity that drives people to watch it. Like, we knew the Dignitas one deck tournament wasn't going to be great either. Because everybody knew, like, Shaman's gonna crush face, and Shaman fucking crush face, right? But we need those. We need the tournament to see, like, oh, that happened, okay. Because, experimentation is what drives competitive Hearthstone forward, and I want to use this as a segue, and something I really, really deeply miss is Via Game HouseCup.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying that I miss Via Game as a brand, particularly. No. It's I'm not saying they're bad, but my point is elsewhere. What happened to these unique formats, to the big bands, strategy phases? Again, I know that everybody wants to do HCT formats and whatnot, but if you're doing an invitational and you're not getting HCT points, why would you do the same conquest all over again? Like, there are thousands of conquest tournaments that I see every month. Why? Why do we keep doing this? Like, Vygame HouseCup was, you know, it built the storyline of Hoy because he was so good at figuring out a meta, and he became a champion. This is where his story began. We saw a lot of crazy shit. We saw Thias's anti-Hemlock Shaman. Like you get to see those builds that you will never see in a Conquest meta, because Conquest meta is so figured out. Everybody's bringing the established shit. But a thing like Vygame HouseCup completely throws you off balance, because you have to go through a completely a very diverse, very long big ban phase, and you have to play a game before a game. Nobody else is doing it. Like, I don't want to echo the ATLC sentiment, although I completely agree. I think this is the one thing we're missing from the scene. Something like ATLC, like a team league, not necessarily ATLC itself. But these unique formats that were completely non-conquest, non-last hero standing. And I'm going to, while I'm speaking about HouseCup as one of the first innovative formats, I'm just going to add Challenge Stone in there, and because right off the bat, people, Crip and Rani and Tepos just stopped doing Challenge Stones. I'm sure they had their reasons. Crip is probably too busy. Rani doesn't want to do it. Tepos challenges doing other things. Whatever the reason, I just miss it. I didn't realize I miss it until it actually disappeared from my life. It's like breaking up with your girlfriend. Like, yep, I didn't realize what I had until I fucking lost it. Right? It's kind of right there.
Yeah. That's exactly it. I mean, like, I miss Challenge Zone every time that came out, even though I felt like the periods between them was a little too long, but every time they came out, I was always looking forward to what the new little thing was going to be, what's the new little catch, and watching some of the best players in the world struggle to adapt to that. And then you would actually see, the cream of the crop rise up. I mean, Trump has always been a great person at figuring out things, and we saw him do that. We saw Noxious kick ass at it and then kind of fall apart at the last match. It happens. But it's still, there were stories in that. There was interesting. It was something that wasn't the same shit all over. I love ramen, but god damn it, I'm getting tired of eating ramen every single fucking episode.
Episodes?
That's how I look at all the tournaments. They're just episodes in the same long drama of the same thing. Hearthstone is all about monotony.
So we covered team leagues, we covered all formats. Chiv, give me another thing. Give me the last thing from the tournaments that we're deeply missing.
Okay, something else that we're missing. It's not really so much a tournament format, but weekly shows based on Hearthstone, i.e., it's kind of in that whole realm of team competition. I'm going back to the fight night. We need fucking show match fight nights. We need exhibition shit like this every week, just to keep the interest, just to highlight these teams, these players, and give people what they want. It's like, hey, oh man, this team that I really like, they're going to be playing up against this team, and they got a little bit of rival. I want to watch that, all right? Bring us the anthology shows. Bring us the fucking leagues. Bring us whatever. Something like that. I want fight night
something that
too.
Creates rivalries, right? But
yes, I want something that creates like leagues are good, but they're very long in principle, and you have to follow like every single step of it. But fight night, it was great. You came in, you watched a couple weeks worth, boom, boom, boom. You got to see your favorite team, and you moved on. Then another team came in, and sometimes you checked it out. Other fans would tune in. It was a great thing. I love that, and we need fight night. I'm just gonna say that right now. Frodan, make it happen.
They're probably still in depth after the last try, so I don't think so.
Well, I mean, long as the money is a little bit less shady this time, I think it'll be okay.
This is Hearthstone we're talking about. You know how much esports money in Hearthstone is shady?
Azubu, you will see, guys. Azubu will come back and be our Lord and Savior. They're bringing back his jet. Make it happen.
But
we already know that YCA is happening, so
Blizzard will finally start enforcing their key seller policy, and you'll see all the teams sponsored by G2A and Kingwin getting fucked.
I don't even want to get into the
seems like whole... G2A is already on a meltdown streak at this point. So
no, I don't think they care, man. Like it's it's a conflict of interest because G2 actually sponsors part of the activities that Ghost Gamers does. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm not really in a comfortable position to talk about it. But people, if
they don't do shit for me, so I'll say whatever I want.
Yeah, that's true. You're not associated with GGN at all, so whatever you want. But
exactly.
You know,
though G2A did send me a sponsorship offer, and I told them to go fuck themselves.
But it's let's touch on this very briefly before we close the show. There was actually a big thread on Reddit. Two of them, by the way. The first one was clean up the community, ditch G2A, and there was actually a game developer saying he would rather have people pirate his game than buy it from G2A, which is a pretty powerful...
Because the the players knows at least that they're doing something wrong. Like well, these are the people that want to screw up the game.
There's another thing though. A lot of people who actually do pirate games do it as kind of like a rental thing. See if this is something they want to spend the money on. And then I know many people who do this and still go out and buy the damn game because pirated copies you can't play online with your friends. You can't get any of the DLCs worth a damn, or you'll have to wait like a month for somebody to repackage it with the DLCs. So yeah, I can kind of understand that. I really can. But I know a lot of people who do pirate that actually go and buy the game. They do support the developers. That's something that a lot of people seem to think, it's like, oh, we pirate and we just steal. Hell no. You look at half my collection. I pirated most of it before I bought it.
Yeah.
So,
but what I wanted to say is that, after this thread, after the initial thread of G2A, a guy had a thread with an open letter to the community enforcing, advising streamers sponsored by G2A to stop their G2A contracts. And yeah, this is not going to happen, man. Like, this is not how anything in life works, or how anything in life is.
Yeah, how do you tell people not to take money?
Yeah, it's like, if I'm a streamer, I hate G2A, I'm not saying I do, although I've written a lot about them, so you kind of know my position if you follow my work. But if they offer me $10,000 a month, I'm gonna fucking take it.
I'd still tell them to fuck off.
No, I'm gonna fucking take $10,000.
Well, that's because you lack morals and principles.
That's fine, man. But $10,000 or $10,000. I'm not saying that these are actually numbers, but I'm just giving an example. But if you actually want to clean up G2A, first of all, you won't, because the esports communities, I don't think have the balls to actually boycott and revolt as properly, right? Like a fucking an actual revolution or boycott. G2A are involved. I'm not watching this tournament. G2A are involved. I'm not watching Forcing. By the way,
no.
all of the top 5 streamers in Hearthstone are sponsored by G2A. So if you want to boycott G2A, you will essentially not be watching Hearthstone anymore. I'm just putting it out there. So whenever you say I'm going to boycott G2A, first realize what this entails, and then realize you will never ever do it. This is why in the G2A offices people are just saying like yep. 3 days later, and this is, by the way, 3 days later, nobody else will give a shit anymore.
Oh my god! Did you see the commercial they put out? And it was on what was it? The Columbus and a bunch of the other CS:GO tournaments that happened in the past few months for G2A. It was the most cheesiest thing in the world. They couldn't even say the word fuck, so they say it's cool as duck. I about wanted to cringe.
I don't want to comment again because it's a conflict of interest for me, for my company. So I don't want to go deep there because we're going to get in trouble. But again, I have to give the full disclosure about why we're not commenting on this particular show when we usually don't really pull punches towards anybody. But if you want to read about G2A, if you want to form your own opinion about the company, about their involvement in esports, in gaming, just Google stuff. Like, you will find...
Yeah, there's like 101 Reddit pages on this shit.
Yeah, Again, we're not going to comment anymore because, I'm going to get in trouble. But anyways, I want to go back to the what we're missing because this is the main topic. We covered tournaments. What else is the tournament lacking in terms of maybe content? Maybe, I don't know, players? Do you feel that, when you look at Hearthstone, sit back in your chair, take a look from afar and see, okay, you know what? We need this. We need this in the Hearthstone scene.
We need popping off. You look at popping off. It's okay. So you look at fighting games, right? And then people are playing. Guy wins, and I mean he just downright stomps a mud hole into a kid, right? He literally jumps up like, yeah, bitch, how's my dick taste in your mouth? That's popping off. You know, that shit-talking mentality that a lot of the fighting games have. Hold up.
We need to go.
Okay, but here's the thing.
PG-13. But...
Okay. There's PG and all that, but you know what? People like that shit. People like that little bit of drama. But look at what you get in Hearthstone, right? Everybody's got their earphones. Nobody can hear anything of the other person. Just once, I want them to play without these earphones or any of that shit. And I want mics to be turned ultra high on the sensitivity right in front of the players there. You motherfucker. I just want to hear what, like RDU goes like, this fucking guy. It's something.
Like curses in Romanians.
Oh, God, Dog's mic would be hilarious. Like, how fucking lucky is this kid? Oh, my God. I mean, that's something right there. That builds something like, oh, the salt. The fans would love it. Yeah, sure.
But we're already talking about offline tournaments, which is...
Okay, I'm talking about online tournaments. I want all the players mic'd up. That way when they're talking shit, and it gets broadcasted out on the stream like, this motherfucker.
This is actually a cool idea, by the way. I don't think anybody will do it.
Oh, no, because then that completely puts the casters out of business.
Yeah.
Okay, can you imagine like a tournament where, like, when you have no casters and you just have the players talk to themselves, like they're kind of in a
so all you have is a production crew.
Just a production crew, and you just encourage players to talk out loud. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Actually, it's going to be cool because you actually see how a player is thinking, right?
You do realize any of these events that Forsen would be taking part in, there would have to be a warning posted at every commercial break.
Seems good. The rate 18. Like, nope, that's...
Unfortunately, one of the players is known for prolific amounts of profanity as well as homosexuality. You have been warned.
Anyways, yeah.
Fucking Hearthstone with trigger warnings. There we go.
I just wish something like, and it's kind of repeating your words, I need something, not necessarily a tournament. I need something that pits one player against another in a classic rivalry.
Like the King of the Hill deal.
I don't fucking care about King of the Hill. I just need rivalries, because as a writer, this is what I care about. Right? I used to write about StarCraft, and there were a lot of these rivalries that actually made like a singular match super more excited, even though it's still the same StarCraft being played, right? When you saw Nydra playing Huck, or Nydra playing MC, or Nydra basically playing anybody, but it was the shit, man. In Korea, Flash playing Jaedong, this was the event of the month. Like, it's going to be an awesome game because these are high level players, but just the sheer fact that this is a player A versus this exact player B, his arch rival.
I think the biggest problem here is that Hearthstone doesn't have that level of gods. Like, not even Tides comes close to reaching the god level status of, say, Flash or Jaedong.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's see. Like, if you go back to, I want to say 2014, maybe it was Tempo Storm against C9, right? Like the big team rivalry, right? This was actually a rivalry because they traded players. They had the best players in the scene. So whenever a Tempo Storm versus Cloud9 player faced each other, it was at least something more interesting, right?
We had viewership numbers increased by 15% almost every single time.
Yeah. Then in 2015 we had Archon versus Tempo Storm, and when Tempo Storm were still competitive and good, which they're not anymore for different reasons. But when these teams played in ATLC, man, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, I miss this. Maybe this is no longer possible because it's Hearthstone, and Blizzard wants to think, well, everybody's friends and it's a cool community, but this is not how sports are supposed to work, esports or otherwise. It's, you need this competitive rivalry, just hating each other in the frame of a sport. I'm not saying go cheating on other players, but just this professional hatred towards each other, right? just like Germany or England in football or something like this, right?
Yeah, except
or
with
like
less
actually
stitches.
Germany and the Netherlands, right? This is the big rivalry, I think. Just actual.
Yeah, except this is Hearthstone, so there's less likely going to be a riot and people getting arrested for 2 years, and yeah.
I miss this. We need this. I'm not even sure if this can be brought back into Hearthstone, if it's possible, and if it is, through which tools. I'm fucking puzzled. I don't know what the solution is there. But yeah. I just I want more things like Yogg versus Shana, which is an actual rivalry, the only remaining rivalry in Hearthstone, I think, at this point.
Actually, what I want to see is Germany versus like Norway or Finland or all the Scandinavian countries.
This is why we need the fucking team leagues, man. As you mentioned, maybe on a national level, because you have Germany playing against Sweden or something like this, and it's like, oh, you beat us last time, so now it's revenge time. I'm actually starting a nation standings in HouseCup, the tournaments we are hosting each week, and it's like, okay, let's see which nations are on top, and this is something that really worked in HouseCup Southeast Asia, and I'm hosting it for the third year in a row, and players actually talk about it, like, you know what, I'm from Singapore, and last time Vietnam and the Philippines beat us in the points, so now we got together and we started practicing. This is actually how they think nowadays, and it's like, I'm not saying like, well, this is entirely on me, I basically force it, but it's something that happens. It's like, if we get together, Singapore guys, we can beat the Philippines guys. Like, 4 years in a row, Philippines are crushing everybody because they have the best players and the biggest population, but it's still, it motivates other countries to train hard and try to beat the Filipinos. Right? Oh, man.
No, I mean, I agree with you. This is basically what me and Toyota came to that same conclusion. It's like, yeah, this is what needs to happen. If people would watch it, it'd be great. It builds stories. It builds legacies. Unfortunately, there was no money to support it, so fuck it.
Anyways, we'll end the show here.
Hold on. Something else just got brought up in the chat here about how DreamHack with the Swiss is a good thing, but the long pauses in between matches.
That's production.
Yeah,
that is production. In all honesty, what they should be doing is having 2 matches, basically. Match 1, match 2. That should cover the entire Swiss round. You just take two players, like, all right, you 4 players. You 4 are going to be streamed. You're going to be first. You're going to be second, and then we'll be going into the next round.
But this
so
is
on
not
and so
something
on.
we're kind of missing, right? It's just something that can be fixed in production.
Yeah,
right. And then instead of like a couple hours in between, we're talking only like 10-15 minutes in between rounds. I think that would have been a hell of a lot better. It would have kept people interested. Because watching a Swiss the way they're doing it now, I mean, it's pretty much sleep fest.
I mean, it's something we've discussed before, that basically every DreamHack for Hearthstone can just blatantly steal ideas from MTG Pro Tours. Because they have a shit ton of content between Swiss rounds. Because they have the same problem, right? Swiss rounds, they are kind of dependent on, everything has to finish before you start the next round. This is how the fucking Swiss work. But so MTG guys just found out, like, yeah, we're going to do interviews, we're going to do deck techs, we're going to do ranking reports, we're going to do result reports, we're going to do predictions. Like, every round there's something they talk about. Like, I actually enjoy content more than the matches. When I was watching MTG Pro Tours last year, I was very disconnected from MTG as a competitive game. I basically was learning the meta as the tournament went out and as my friends explained it to me, but the content between in the pauses was really great. Like, it's actual knowledgeable people talking smart shit. And I'm not saying the Hearthstone casters we have are dumb, but there's so much more things that can be done in DreamHack pauses. But again, it's not something that's inherently missing from the scene. It's something that can be improved in production. So although I take Jetocast, who comments on this in the chat. Thank you for a contribution, buddy. But the topic was about something like in a more larger scale. Yeah. Anyways, thank you again for joining us for this episode. Sorry we've been off stream for 2 weeks. We're trying to. I hope that we'll be on a regular schedule now that I don't have a bloody cloth of horror and eldritch on my head, and I'm kind of more. I'm camera friendly. As much as my face.
Dude, you could try to say that was Cthulhu. We all know it was herpes, man. Come on.
mean, I'm just like looking like a bad and more ugly elder god. Basically, this is what I was 2 weeks ago. Follow us on social media. You can find Sumadin at Sumadin. Chiv is. Why do I have your old?
I don't know.
Idiot. This is not his Twitter. It's LG_the Chiv. So go follow him on LG_the Chiv. You can find me at GG Nydra, and me and Stefan's work is on ghostofgamers.net/Hearthstone. Subscribe to the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Just search for Ghost of Gamers and you will find us. This episode will be available on all channels tomorrow. You can just rewatch it on your or re-listen it on your phones or whatever. We'll be back next Tuesday, the same time, which is 9 p.m. European or 3 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, so go join us. If you have any comments, any feedback, any critique, you know where to find us. Again, these Twitters, except this guy's Twitter, it's completely false.
Yeah.
But he's not important, so you don't really even need
to.
I mean, you're just an American.
Motherfucker.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week. Until then, go watch. Well, I guess Truesilver Championship qualifiers, right? That's about it. Yep.
Yeah, the Sacred Trials.
Yep, the Sacred Trials. Go watch that. See ya, guys.